Hey everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming, and I really want to say thanks to the Ethereum Foundation to give us this opportunity to tell you guys how to build a Sharable DID network using zero knowledge and MPC technologies. So how many of you guys, it's your first time coming to East Denver? Wow, a big crowd. Yeah, it's my first time to East Denver too. However, our connection with Ethereum Foundation goes back all the way to 2018. Vitalik and I were both invited by the Hong Kong Exchange to present and talk about the future of blockchain back in the days. And he deeply inspired me on his dedication to build a decentralized network for everyone. And we were lucky to reconnect again last year during summer, and we were really inspired by his ideas on soulbound token and MPC technologies. So that's why our team took a deep dive and started building a truly on-chain Sharable DID network that is utilizing zero knowledge and MPC technologies. So why do we want to do that? Well, currently all your IDs, identity infos, are monopolized by three types of entities. First, the government, then the big Web3 companies, and the big large Web2 companies like Binance, Facebook, WeChat, Google. And they are utilizing all your info as their barrier of entry and as their competitive advantage. And worst of all, because everything is centralized stored on their server, you have no way of knowing if they are utilizing your data, monetizing it, or sharing it without your consent. And the worst part is that you're not getting a penny from it. So a lot of people are trying to solve these issues. That's why you're seeing a lot of DID projects during East Denver here and all over the world. However, there are some problems with all the existing ones that we're seeing in the market. For example, Binance issued their soulbound token last year. But Binance, all the wallets corresponding Web2 data, like which email, which name is behind each address, is still centralized stored in Binance server. So you have no way of verifying if they're tweaking it, if they're sharing it, if they're monetizing it or exploiting it without your knowledge or consent. And that also stopped others to provide better services using these data. And obviously, you are not getting a penny as well. So the whole thing kind of defeats the purpose of a DID network in the first place. So that's why we thought of the idea of building KARAT network. And that's what we want to share today, which is a truly decentralized network that is fully on-chain by the people and for the people. And I will hand my mic to Charles to talk about the infrastructure. Then I will get back and tell you more about the developments.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well? All right. So I'm Charles. So you may ask why, there are a lot of data storage platform out there, right? You have IPFS, Ceramic, Rwave. You may ask, why aren't you just sharing the data and post the data on those platforms and share it to the other people? Because I think getting the data encrypted on blockchain is actually harder than you might think. And because blockchain, everything is public and immutable. You don't want to store your private information in plain text on the blockchain, right? And you have to encrypt it first. But if you encrypt it, then it comes to some centralized problem. So that's why we introduced KARAT network. It's a fully decentralized data network that empowers users to take full control of their data ownership. And then you can monetize and earn rewards after that. So let's start from the bottom So we have the data storage layer, right? KARAT uses Ceramic to store the data identity in a decentralized manner. We picked Ceramic because they already offer so many extensions for DID protocols. And then on the top, we have the access control layer and decryption layer. Those are the keys to our network. We use smart contract as single source of truth to grant the access to user and to people who can actually view and interact with the user data. And then using encryption. We are partnering up with Lib Protocol to use threshold cryptography to encrypt users' data in a decentralized manner. And I will dive into this a little bit more in the next slides. So and then on the top, people can, since with the KARAT network, user can share and access users' data following users' permission. And then it opens up so many possibilities, such as people can build DApps for target marketing, Web2 outreach, or they can create their own personal data marketplace. So I'm gonna walk you through a simple user flow with MPC. So encryption is like locking and opening a safe box, right? You have to have a key. So let's say you have a piece of data, you want to encrypt it. Nowadays, with a traditional method, usually a single entity will hold the key to the encryption. That makes that encryption process centralized and very vulnerable to data leaking or abuse abuse. So with the threshold cryptography, the MPC way, right? You can imagine you have one key, and then you are breaking this key into 100 pieces, and then those keys are distributed in different nodes. Only when those majority of the nodes, let's say 66 out of the 100 keys, reach a consensus, and then they can open it up the encrypted content for you. So after we encrypt the data, and then all those keys are actually orchestrated by the smart contract, and then we store that data into the storage. And then, so for the data sharing flow, let's say we have a third party or a developer that wants to access your data that stores on KARAT network. So basically, you will first use a DApp, maybe a front end, then you will create a list of wallets that you're interested in. And then you will go through our smart contract for access control. Because usually the request for data comes in a large bundle, right? You don't usually request for one person's data. You usually request in hundreds or thousands. So we are using Merkle tree to bundle up those requests. And it's very similar technology used in a lot of NFT marketplace right now for those bundle purchase. And we are able to scale up those transactions to thousands or tens of thousands. And then after the smart contract grants the access to the threshold cryptography technology protocol, right? Then we are putting back the keys and then distribute the data for the third party, and then they can access and download the data within a time limit. So, and also with the KARAT network, it opens up so many possibilities in the future, and people are willing to share their data on our network. And in the future, I mean, there will be data that people might feel sensitive about it, such as your KYC information Rudy talked about in the beginning, or the financial data, right? So they will still be stored in our KARAT network, but validators can create a custom verifiable credentials, and they have the ability to approve and verify and reject. And for the claimer, right, for people who want to use those VCs, I mean, they can get their sensitive data verified by the tester, and they can share with others. So, yeah, that's basically a quick recap about KARAT network.
So besides all the amazing infrastructure we're building, utilizing the MPC and zero knowledge technology, we also realize that the sense of ownership is not only about the tech level, but it's also about the philosophical, economical level. That's why we stress 3 points: own, verify, and earn. And now I want to tell you guys more about how users are able to earn a part of the network, become an owner not only of their data, but also the owner of part of the KARAT network in general. That's why we're creating it. So the users, when you go on KARAT, instead of any other DID platforms you see out there, you're actually able to earn a piece of the network when you submit and verify your data. So every time when the KARAT is generated, it represents that there is a piece of valuable data added into the network. So there is a fundamental value towards the whole network, and it's not just some token that any project could create and use all the backings to sell on the market. So the first zero are the validators. So the validators are the people who believe in the value of a decentralized Sharable network. And they are able to become validators by staking their KARAT and Ethereum into the liquidity trading pair, the liquidity pool. So not only they will be able to mine out KARAT token through the staking, but also they're able to generate the node. And within the node, the users are able to interact with the Oracle and to verify all of their Web2 credentials as well as their wallet. So the Web2 credentials including email, Twitter, and Discord, and all that stuff. And the best part is, every time you verify it, every time there are new users coming under the node verifying it, both the new user and the validator are able to mine out the token and own a piece of the network from there. So, and also, besides the short-term earning, in the long term, whenever there are people trying to request data from the network that is under certain nodes, both the user and the validator are going to get paid for granting the access. So how much KARAT reward you are able to get? People may ask, because there are a lot of bots everywhere. There are a lot of vampire attacks. There are a lot of witch attack and all that, right? So it's basically boils down to 3 parameters. So the first one is the wallet holding wallet age. Basically, the higher quality wallets, the higher quality user info are assumed to have higher demand. That's why they are going to have a bigger part ownership of the network when they join. The second are the validators. So a lot of people are deep believer into the consensus. However, they may not be a KOL, or they may not have that million user reach. So what they can do is that they're able to stake more money, and in that sense, because the higher staker, the higher level nodes are going to get more rewards, that in turn are going to attract more users to sign and verify under their node. And the third one is a time decay mechanism, which is preventing the attack from big mining pools or the exchanges who holds a lot of tokens in their wallets. So in total, they create a robust mechanism that put together a strong network that is truly aligning the value that users are providing to the value of the network and the data requesters together. And the best part is, all the interactions I just talked about are fully on-chain. So there is no interaction with a localized server or a centralized entity or a black box. So from the time you're verifying your Web2 social and wallet, you are interacting with the Oracle. The Oracle will also check your ETH balance and mint you a soulbound token with parameters. With that soulbound token, you're able to interact with KARAT protocol and redeem whatever KARAT token you deserve to have. Also, the SBT serves as a key to your profile. So it's not only a one-time thing. You can link your KARAT profile to more wallet, or to add more Web2 credentials through their knowledge way, or through just straightforward verifying way by for example, if you're a professor in real life, or you're an influencer, or you're a scientist, right? These credentials wouldn't be able to be proven solely on blockchain. But with the SBT, you're able to verify them through the DK nodes and have the credential tied to your profile. Also, you have a strong incentive to do so, because every time, the more attractive that your profile becomes, the more data requests you will get to your profile, and in return, you're going to have the data sharing yield. So every party is incentivized to make the network more valuable and to provide more verifiable and high credential info into the network. So there is a strong synergy in line of value. So in conclusion, why KARAT network? Well, there are 3 levels. So on the toppest level, the philosophical level, as I said in the beginning, it's all about ownership. It's the first time in the history that people are actually able to own their ID data in a decentralized way. You no longer need to worry about Twitter or Binance or whoever take your data, do whatever they need, profit from it, use it without your consent, because everything is on chain with KARAT, and only your key is able to grant access. The second is the financial aspect. So you are actually able to own a powered network, get financial incentives when you sign in. In fact, both the validator and users are getting incentive when you sign in. And the third is the long-term data sharing yield, right? So you get perpetual return if you keep updating your profile, if you have actual social value, and people are actually trying to get to you. And we are pushing out and working with a lot of SocialFi apps in this May, which you will see if you follow our Twitter. In the end, we'll have a QR code, and you will be able to see all these key user cases. And last but not least, it's also about social, right? As I was saying, a lot of features. And it's the Soulbound token itself also serves as a social status, which we will release more info in April and May. So as I was already hinting in the last slides, we have a grand vision. So right now, the network is not launched yet. However, all the dApps are already running. We have 3 dApps beta launched. We have over 100 projects and protocols using us, and we have accumulated over 200K users registered. And in April, we're going to publish the KARAT Network Alpha, which we're launching with 100 validator partners, including a lot of key exchanges, OKEX, KuCoin, Gate, a lot of key guilds, a lot of KOLs, gaming partners as well. Then in June 2023, we're going to launch the public test, which the first KARAT and Soulbound token will be minted. And the data requesting access the app is going to be online as well. And before the end of the year, we will have the beta launch, which comes with a full capacity token supply and the SDK to open source for all the apps to use. Well, in the end, we're going to develop vertical oracles and dApps for different ID user cases, not limited to social ID, but also expanding to medical ID, tax ID, educational ID. And also the ZK as a ZK for privacy-centric data is going to be expanded tremendously as well. So these are some of the dApps you will be able to find out on KARAT.com. And these are some of our partners. Now we're ready for some Q&A. Also, feel free to scan the QR code and follow us on Twitter. Thank you, guys. Woo! Also, we are having a ski trip tomorrow, so if anyone wants to go with us, let us know. Let's get it, guys. Oh, here we go. We have one. Arbitron.
Hi, my name is Eugene. We are making the app for digital identity. And my question is about the attestation of the documents or information that you get. For example, I have a diploma and I bring it to you that I have a higher education. Who make the attestation? Who verified my higher education diploma?
So for the attestation, right? You're asking like if you have custom credentials you want to verify on our network, who will be the one attesting it? So in the beginning with the ZK we are talking about, right? You will be the third party that's doing the approval, rejection, and also verify in the beginning.
Sorry, we only have 20 seconds, but we will answer all the rest of the questions off stage. Thanks for all you guys' support. Thank you for coming here, and looking forward to working with you more on KARAT.